So tell us about your
Yeah.
book and like how'd you write it? Why'd you write it? And then we'll get into like some of the chapters in it too. Like I love the synopsis you gave.
For the past couple of years, I said, I have this book and I want to write it. And it was January last year. I came off of a personal development event and I made a decision. I just said, this is the year it's going to happen. I don't know how, don't know how long it's going to be. Never wrote a book. And it's, I'll encourage anyone who has a big mountain task like that, just start. And I started to write and next thing you know it, I just couldn't put it down. It was like a dog on a bone. Ideas were coming. I outlined everything. And then it was just a matter of like, I spent most Saturdays and Sundays writing for the past year, and it got done in November of this year.
That's awesome, man. And so the title of the book, and I've just shown it was in the email yesterday. I put a link, but yeah, hold it up if you don't mind.
Yeah.
For 21st century real estate professional. The back of the book. Yeah, give us your philosophy of the book.
I'll just read you the paragraph that you're referring to.
Yeah,
Who is best equipped to address the consumer's fears, doubts, expectations, hopes, and logistics with compassion, expertise, and confidence in today's hyper-competitive dynamic landscape? After selling homes for 15 years, I can say the unequivocal answer is the full-service agent who intelligently runs their business so they can not only service the client at the highest levels possible, but also bring a standard of excellence that provides unmatched commitment and assurance to those they help. Moving forward, every real estate professional will have one fundamental question to answer. Are they preparing to be one of the many struggling commoditized discounters all racing to the bottom, or one of the elite, well-compensated, highly competent 21st century full-service real estate professionals? This book was written for those who chose the latter.
Hopefully everyone's like clapping at home, etc. Like that is the description. Yeah, put the word me in there. Yeah, put some positive affirmation in the chat.
But this idea of like there are really two camps emerging from this, and it's my belief, in my experience at least, in writing this book and talking to dozens of top producing agents that I interviewed for the book. They're not listed, but this book came with a lot of personal research, that we have a choice to make. And I think the people that are stuck at neither side are getting washed out. Like, are you the discounter who is at the race to the bottom, who is the cheapest price in the market, does the least, offers them? I mean, we all know what that looks like. Or are you going to go this other direction, which is high quality, high touch, servicing the client at the highest level, making sure that their needs are met, building infrastructure around meeting their needs? And if you're not going that direction, you're really in that middle no man's land where it's already happened, but moving forward, that's going to become a difficult place to exist. And in the introduction, it's really about the journey that most clients have interacting with a full service professional like us. And our role is often seen by the outside as transactional and somewhat expendable by people that don't understand. Yet the people that are engaged with the day-to-day job of helping people move through transition, really, I mean, buying and selling is not about the transaction of like filling out contracts. It's about one chapter to a next in someone's life and how we can best be there for that journey. The book is my attempt to do a couple things. Work on the mindset of the entrepreneur, which is you are the product in your business. I mean, they are hiring you for your expertise, your knowledge, your compassion, your skill set, whatever it makes you uniquely you. There is some part of you that is your clients are drawn to. So the first part of the book really deals with the mindset of the entrepreneur. And in my own case, it was a journey to get through the period where my stories, my rituals, the meanings I was assigned to the things happening in my life and business, and ultimately creating those habits that propel success. Like, there was a journey behind that. I was kicked out of the house when I was 16. I had behavioral issues. I was sent to a group house to live for a period of time. I mean, I really had a rough go at it to start. And in the journey from having those difficulties to becoming a self-sufficient entrepreneur who is running their business at a high level, it took a lot of working on this. You become the sum of your habits when it all boils down. And so the first part of the book really helps hopefully answer that question of, are you addressing the you versus you part of the equation? And then in the next couple of chapters, it's just really, I break it down to 5 fundamentals to selling real estate as a full service, high touch, broken down into basically 25 to 30 of the best practices of selling real estate in today's market, knowing there's AI, knowing there's massive discounters, knowing there are people aiming for your database with multi-million-dollar ad campaigns. Like, how do you fight that and still remain the person that's in your client's consciousness? You're not a salesperson, you're and so that those 5 fundamentals are my attempt to do so.
Give us more. Keep going with the funny titles.
Yeah, yeah. Funding number 4 is be a wise ass. Um, which, you know, being a wise ass is not the brash person on the playground saying like, yeah, know it all. It's really becoming wise in your own business and having clarity about your numbers, your metrics, your goals, and really building infrastructure around the things that you hope to accomplish. I mean, in my case, I sold real estate a lot for a long time as a game of like whack-a-mole. Like something comes up, I hit it, and it's just constantly chasing the next opportunity. Not a lot of strategy behind that. But when you start to sit down and say, how do I create a business that serves my life that I can feel really good about at the end of the day, where I'm not chasing deals I shouldn't be chasing, or I'm working with people that I want to work with and want to work with me, it takes a little bit of strategy and in a carving out that ideal client, falling in love with your ideal client's needs, building specific value around that ideal client. And that's where in this chapter, we go into all of that. And, you know, you ask yourself the question of like, who do I want to work with? Who would value my services? And if you can answer that question authentically, there's a lot of work you should do to attract that person and then help that person better than anyone else can help them. And that ensures you continue to work with them more so than any discounter or algorithm or whatever else is out there.
That's great. All right, last one.
Okay, last one. Well, trackers will always earn more than slackers.
Just give us that. What's that mean?
All right. And it's broken down in 2 parts, but this is where I get really tactical into the part of the business that as an artist, I don't necessarily love to spend my time.
Yeah.
But I will say when I was doing a certain volume and I wanted to get to the next phase, it all became down to getting that visibility in my own business. There's some math involved with this at a certain point. And so tracking has a lot to do with some of those components, but also your numbers and how you run your business to remain extremely profitable. It's not just spend money, hope it works out and see what comes back at the end of the year. I mean, there's more science behind that.
Yeah.
This part just deals with a lot of those unsexy, but really necessary parts of running a business at a high level, especially if you're looking to grow your business.
Yeah. I love that, man.
If you have a goal to write a book, if you have a goal to change your business, to change your body, to change your relationship with your family, there's a lot, like we all have goals in multiple categories. And if you continue to have the goal and you don't follow through on it, people think big deal. Well, the fact is you're losing credibility with the most important person in your life. And that's the asshole that's going to keep you up at night that says, I can't believe you think you can actually accomplish this. Like it's the person in your life that matters most, is not the opinions of others. We get distracted by that, but it's truly not what moves the needle for us. It's our own self-identity that becomes the most important thing that we have. It's what makes us uniquely human. And in my experience, building that credibility with myself was time well spent. And it really boiled down to working on what started with my beliefs, my stories. They're interchangeable in my view. And the stories are essentially what you tell yourself on repeat to be true. And the funny part about stories is we all come from a community, a family, whether we're raised by grandparents, parents, a community, we all have people that brought us up. And so we don't always choose our upbringing, but those often leave imprints on us, like how things are. And we carry those forward for a long time. A lot of our stories are created at low points in our life. We go through a difficult time and we think that's who we are. And it's like, no, that was who you were in a low moment. Yet we carry the weight of those things moving forward. And we never really stop to challenge like our stories and beliefs about ourselves. But the incredible part is the person that has that belief is capable today of changing and creating a new belief. And that was the most powerful transformation for me. As someone who's a high school dropout, I was kicked out of the house at 16. I went to an emotional rehab for needs. My parents kicked me out of the house and said, go to this place, and went to a group home. Didn't go to college. I went to college only after all my buddies were graduating. I was entering remedial math class at community college. I was overweight, my body, like there's lots of things that I just was like, this is how it is. And it's bullshit. Challenging those stories is the beginning of anything to starting a new journey to find authentically who you are. And at the end of the day, that's my North Star, is like, I am capable of so much, but I need to find that person and build credibility to become that person that is capable of achieving those things. And so if anyone's struggling with like taking on a new goal, like just start with asking yourself, the things I tell myself on repeat, is that really how it is? Or could I swap that out for a new story?
Yeah, that's so great. So on that note, Jonathan, what's a big goal you have right now that you're working towards that you're scared of?
Yeah. You know, I've been in real estate a long time. I'm pivoting into more of a coaching space, and that scares the actual hell out of me because, you know, to engage in a new business that it's that same stuff coming up again. Who do you think you are? What makes you think you can actually accomplish this? And so that is a big goal I'm working on, and I won't get into all of it, but it's going well. It's new, unfamiliar, scary. Every day you wake up and you have to let some part of you die that's comfortable to become someone new. You have to let go of something that's familiar and comfortable. And like, that's just a daily grind for me. I mean, the emotional roller coaster with that can be difficult, but at the end of the day, you get to the point where you look in your heart and you say, is this worthy? Have you evaluated? Is this something worth doing in your life?
Yeah.
If the authentic answer is yes, let that be your North Star for a reason to steady the ship when things get difficult. Go back to that why. Why does this need to happen in my life? It's so important. Okay, well, the temporary ups and downs are just a part of the process. And in fact, viewing them as necessary to get to the next phase. Like, without it, you're never going to get there. So embrace it as like, this should be happening. I should feel crazy some days. I should feel out of my mind. I should feel depressed. The feelings are not the barometer anymore. It's the why, and methodically moving forward and checking things off that list, which is focus for me, going back to my word.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then the chat is just absolutely awesome. And last question, Jonathan, then I'm gonna let everyone go. And great interview, by the way, super powerful. I'm gonna send you the chat for sure, so you can read it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been keeping up on the chat, but
I try to ignore it until this morning. That's caught my eye in a really good way. So Jonathan, it's February 2023. What's your one piece of advice for every realtor? We'll just focus on the entrepreneurs on the call. What's your piece of advice for every realtor, what they should be doing this month?
This is the best time right before the storm, right? Where you can make this strategic. And I just encourage everyone, it's identify your ideal client. Truly, like, who do you want to help? Who makes sense to help? It's not everyone. There's someone, though. $900,000 to $2 million sellers in North Arlington is my ideal client. I know that because I fall in love with your ideal client. Just fall in love with them and their needs. Think about, what does that person need? And ultimately find ways to over deliver for that specific person. Because you're not dealing with first-time home buyers if you're going after $2 million sellers. They have different needs, but your ideal client, fall in love with them and build plans. Like, if you offer services, make them 10% better in every category that services them and the things they want. And if you do that, you will attract those people. And guess what? When you're at a listing presentation or buyer consultation, whichever the case you go, and you have a unique value proposition tailored to their needs, your conversion rates are going to go through the roof, and it will focus your business, and it'll give you a lot more sense of satisfaction when you're working with these folks. I just encourage everyone to spend like an hour with a glass of wine or at a coffee shop. Just think, like, who the hell do I want to work with, and how do I find them, target them, and fall in love with them?
Great advice. So if we were in a room, they'd be getting a round of applause right now, Jonathan. Great interview. Awesome tidbit. Everything was great today. So I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you.
This community is awesome. And so it's very humbling to be a part of this. And I just want to say, I've been quietly watching everyone else's for a long time. So this is a lot of fun. Thank you for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, man.